Thanks for tuning in to this episode of I Have Something to Say, where subject matter experts are unafraid and unapologetic about sharing their perspectives regarding issues that impact our lives. They speak up because basically they give a shit. So if you're tired of canned answers and want to finally hear real people cut through the BS and talk about real issues, this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Sami Heyman Marrero from Urbender, and behind our mixer is our producer, Chris Majoka from UdoU. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode, and I'm so excited to introduce some new friends and peer business owners as well. Ketzi Hernandez and Mariden Lord, and they are both the co-founders of My Florets. And I was just blown away with how their business came to be because I have an 11-year-old and she's going through this like as we speak. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, we have to have you on the podcast. How are you guys?
We're good. Thank you.
Great this morning.
Yes, good morning. I'm so excited. And I just, I'll just give like a brief introduction. And so, Ketzi, you have a teenage daughter, right? Or tween. Is she a tween or
Tween.
she's already? She's a tween like mine. And this business concept basically addresses the needs of tween girls as they're basically stepping into puberty. And it's like that crazy stage where you don't know what the hell you're doing, especially if it's your first, daughter or your first experience going through this, right, as a mom. And so It could be a little bit daunting and, just highly sensitive, waters because it's high emotions are involved too, right? And so the category, which I was like blown away because when we met, I was literally going through this experience. It's intimate apparel for tweens. Like, what in the world do you do when your little girl enters puberty, right, or is starting puberty, and they're asking questions and trying to be comfortable in their own body? And so please share with me how did you both meet? Let's start with that, because I see that it's two strong women, that you must be longtime friends, and that there must be a special bond there, because that's how these things work, right?
Yes, for sure. How did we meet? Mariden has a more professional.
So we met in the fast-paced television industry. Mm. We worked together for I think it was about 2.5 years. And even though we worked in different departments, we bonded a lot over the experiences. We learned like how we could work together, how we could really rely on one another, and our strengths and weaknesses, and how we can really uplift each other.
In a nutshell, I was overworked. Mariden saved my kidneys. And then I knew from then on, I was like, oh, she's a trooper. She just saved my life.
Yeah.
So we'll go from there.
That's great. No.
That's how we ended up meeting.
That's great. And so you stayed connected, obviously. So that's how it happens, right? You're in the business environment. You're able to see, I like how she works. And then you build this really strong friendship and respect for one another. And then the babies grow. And then what happened, Ketzi?
So when I was working with Mariden, Valeria was still what I consider a tiny baby, right? And then one day I get a call from camp, and they're like, you might want to get her a thicker undershirt. And I was like, thicker undershirt? What does that mean? Like thicker undershirt? Because I didn't remember any of it. So it that's how it started. I was like, all right, cool. And I feel like I woke up one day and she had boobs. They weren't there the day before, and then one day they were there, and then we had to go shopping. So Mariden is always that tia that has been in the background. That's kind of like, what do I do? What's happening? She's been very very much involved in my kids' lives. And when we went to go find a training bra, it was, what I had in my mind, the story that I had in my mind, or the experience that I was telling in my mind. This is going to be a great bonding moment. This is going to be a good moment for us to really unite, mommy daughter scenario. It was none of that. It was, why are they not making bras for my size? Why can we not find any? Why? Because the bras that we would find, so she was very athletic built. Like, she wasn't your little skinny tiny little girl. She was always athletically built. Um and I'm not saying that she was like chubby, not at all. She was just very athletic built. So the bras that were for her age did not fit. And then the bras that did fit were not age appropriate. So then we got into, is there something wrong with me? Am I abnormal? And I called Money then one day, and I was like, I just don't know what to do. Like, I have no idea what to do. I have no idea where to go and find bras. Like, I wish the concept really came in. I was like, I wish there was a service that I could just order a bra every time that she needs it, or have it on a subscription base, and I know that it fits her body.
Right.
And then was like, that's a phenomenal idea. I'm like, I know. I tried researching it. I can't find it anywhere. There's nothing like it. This is where we are in life. And that's how the concept started. It was all because of a problem that, yes, there were bras. Don't get me wrong. There were absolutely a lot of bras. The bras were too small or weren't age appropriate. And the ones that did fit, I just didn't. And there were some cheetah, zebra little prints here and there. And I was like, I don't feel like putting cheetah or zebra prints on my daughter. Like, I still want her to keep her innocence. By God, she's like 9 and 10 years old at this point. I think she was. So I still wanted to hold on to that innocence, but have her wear something that was comfortable for her.
Yeah, and the thing is also, when you mentioned the prince, oh my goodness, the drama with the prince, because she doesn't want them too girly girl, because she's in that in between stage. So then it's like, how do you, like, where's the compromise here? So you said later for everybody, since it doesn't exist, I'm gonna create it, right? And
Right.
so I mean, and so with your media experience, your business experience, I'm sure with your marketing experience, how long did it take from that ideation stage, right, to actually putting pen to paper? Like, when did you say, that's it, let's do this? And how long did it take for you guys to, to go from just, there's a problem, let's solve it, and then get into action?
Mariden, you want to handle this one?
Sure. So we had the conversation in July, and by mid-September, we had the website up, and we were looking for our partnerships and figuring out how can we, move forward with our business.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And so, you get a lot of, I think that you see all this data, that talks about how women of color are growing in terms of business ownership, and do you have any opinions on why that is? Or because I have my theories, but I'm interested to hear why you think, and I'm sure you've heard this data too, working in media, you've heard it before, so it's no news to anybody, but we're really, the engine behind new business development, right, across the country. So no news. So what are your ideas about? Because I mean, this was quick. You guys saw a problem, jumped on it, and you're in the midst of just growing, right? This empire.
I can answer that one. If I understood this correctly, like, how are businesses, like female minority businesses, growing so fast? And the only thing that really comes to mind is that people are more open to the idea of diversity versus 20 years ago or 30 years ago or 40 years ago. And there's more opportunity of saying, I want to help and I want to create and I want to see more people be successful. And I mean, that's really the only thing. And giving, just saying, hey, we're going to give females the opportunity. It's so sad. Like, come on, it's 2021. Like, we're finally going to give females the opportunity. But yes, I mean, we just got the opportunity to vote not so many decades ago. So I guess it's just a good aspect.
I think to add to that, I think part of the conversation that we've been having is really recognizing how our demographics have not been addressed. The teen market in this regard in intimate apparel and personal hygiene is completely underserved. We know that body types change or differ between different cultures or different demographics, and so you need different products. So we're really trying to cater to ourselves, in our own demographic and grow with everybody.
To add to that point as well, I think now as we're in a generation where we are more open to talking about our bodies.
Yeah.
We are more open to discussing, like, I have a period, or I don't like my period, or I have boobs, or I have small boobs, big boobs. Where before it was a very taboo scenario, very taboo conversation of even getting to the point of talking about, hey, you're going to get a period. And it's not like it just magically appeared one day and saying, oh, here, women are going to have a period. It's happened from the start of humanity, I think.
Yeah. So it's a combination of factors, right? So an untapped market, or at least not addressed in a culturally competent way. Also, people being more open and less how do you say sensitive to addressing certain topics that might, less modesty. Let's just call it. People are less modest about talking about certain topics. And then last but not least, there's an opportunity, right? I think that also we see each other and we're like, she could do that, then maybe I can too, and so I think a lot of courage has, and then obviously a lot of people that will support these new businesses and these innovative ideas. I was looking at your website, My Florets, and I think it's just really cool how you're so clear. You're doing preteen, teen, and then you address athletic body types to your point, Ketzi. It's like this is not cookie cutter, right? So you need to address all body types, and then the whole thing about the period, because then once you start growing buds and developing into young women, then that's coming, that's right around the corner. And so it's great how you're trying to be more than just an innovator in the bra, right, or underwear or intimate apparel category, but also a resource of information to guide with vetted information that's also carefully curated, right, to be family friendly and also conducive to no judging. Like I was looking at the language that you use, and I think it's really great because in the end, almost in all of the segments that you have on your website, like the first talk, about puberty and what it is, and then the buds, and then the hair growth, right, the fuzz, you make it fun without being how do you say cartoonish, or like minimizing the subjects, but also you end everything with like, what, it's up to her. It's up to your daughter to say, do I want to shave or not shave? Do I want athletic bras or, more lacy or whatever, So how did you land on this, on this concept of speaking in this, like in this tone? And who are you talking to? Is it moms? Is it like, who are you really trying to appeal to here?
I can take this one, Mariden, and you can chime in. So when the concept came in and how are we writing this, right? We wanted it to be diverse. We wanted it to have like if the mom didn't want to have the conversation, if she just wanted to bring the child in and kind of pinpoint out a couple things, girls could understand it, right? There's not complex language on there. And it's also easy talking points for parents or caretakers or aunties or whatever it is that girl, that person wants to bring them in. So we wanted it to be simple, educational, but not overwhelming, right? Because the last thing, and the concept was, if I was to put Valerie in this website, could she understand?
Right.
If I said, "Hey, I found this website. If you don't want to, if you want to read about it and then talk to me, how would she understand it? Would it be an easy conversation to have? Would she say, "Mom, what is buds or what is the fuzz or what does that mean?" Right? And terms that they could understand. So it was more of how do we make this where everyone could understand it?
That's
Yeah.
great.
Part of it also was our goal is to really remove the fear and the stigma of developing and of becoming a woman, because we know that a lot of things are placed onto women, right? We're conditioned in a lot of ways through society and through messaging. So we wanted to remove that fear and that stigma, and just make it normal, to normalize something that is going to happen to everybody, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what does Valerie think? I mean, has she I mean, do you tap into your how do you say, your little case study at home to be able to tweak? Yeah, how is that going?
Oh, yeah. She is my case study for sure. Everything has really been revolved around, I wouldn't say necessarily around her, but it has been the problems. This is a conversation that I literally just told Mariden yesterday. I said, if I'm having this problem, I can't imagine how many other parents are having this problem. Because this isn't just it's my daughter, it's the only one that's happening, it's the only one going through this, right? And the struggle and even the conversation, I was like, I don't know. There have been times where I tell Maddie that I was like, I don't know how to communicate this properly. Like, how would if I don't know how to communicate it, how would other parents communicate it? Or what's a good method that they're using? Or what hasn't worked? What has worked? So it's been a lot of trial by error through my own case study at home. But again, my mentality of it, if I'm going through this, what's to say that you're not going through it,
Right.
right?
Yeah, and I am. So
Well,
right.
anyone that has a little
Yeah.
girl, for sure.
Yes, totally. Or know somebody that's going through it, because we talk with, our friends, and you're like, oh my gosh, she just got her period. Could you believe it? And she's like, what? She's only 11. And I'm like, yeah, I
Like,
know. It's
yeah,
crazy, right? Yeah. And
right.
so it's like, it's crazy. And it happens like this so quickly. So there's stuff for under 8, right? 9 years old, and there's in this category, there are enough options, after 14, 15, right, where you're already like a big girl, let's say,
Yep.
right? So that's your niche. You're looking
Yep.
at 9, 8, 9, to 13, 14. I mean, that's basically your little sliver there, right? In terms of but it's huge, it's not little. That's kind of like the point, right? That's a
Right.
completely you know underserved market. I mean, the girls, and just making sure to appeal to diversity, to all shapes, to all sizes, and to all levels of comfort with talking about this subject. I think that's really spectacular. And so you just launched the business this past year, right? When was it that you launched it?
Yeah, 2018. Yeah.
Okay, 2018. So yeah, a
The end of
little.
2018.
Yes, and so how's it going? I mean, what are your plans? Where do you foresee the business going?
So 2020 was a very interesting year. We were on the rampage of partnering with schools and a lot of nonprofit organizations, one of them being Girls on the Run and providing athletic wear for them for girls of low income families to say that.
Mm.
And we were getting there. It was like, oh, this is great stepping stones. And then coronavirus hit. And
I know.
because the majority of our partnerships were through schools, and when schools shut down,
Mhm.
we kind of went back to the whiteboard and said, all right, how are we going to do this?
Right.
So we've been thinking, innovating, creating, brainstorming to get that customer discovery, that customer interaction. Because again, as you said, it's a very slim niche,
Hmm.
but it happens from 8 to
Yes. To everybody. No one escapes it. Yes.
Mhm.
no.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen.
we've used COVID as an opportunity really to develop our online presence and to really, start a lot of new conversations with a lot of potential partners who can get on board and really understand our mission.
Yeah, that's great. And so what's your end game in terms of, in when you're able to uh further establish the brand and really grow, like what is that vision, and mission that you have in mind moving forward now, experiencing COVID, and so how did that change or transform itself?
The vision that we have, is to be. We want to serve as many girls as we possibly can, and with that, we would love to be a multi-million-dollar company that just has access to funds and materials to, at one point, not only sell but also donate, um, across the U.S. And markets, for instance, like in Africa, like if the girls grow out of the bras, we could always donate it to the girls in India or in Mexico or Venezuela or in Africa. So we want it to grow to a point where we're creating so much revenue, and we're also giving back to the community as well. And then hopefully at one point retire in the Cayman Islands
Exactly.
with mango trees.
With mango trees. That's funny.
So our ultimate goal is to be the Amazon slash Spanx of puberty. That's what I would
Yay!
love to be. An online resource where parents can go get information, have talking points with their daughters, and still be able to buy products and have a subscription box where they can get nice little goodies and purchase that through us too.
So Mariden, how are we looking to get there with this expansion?
Expanding this year into more e-courses, offering information as well as products so that parents can provide that information to girls and just get them more comfortable, with puberty and all the changes that are going, mental health aspect of it, physical, the menstrual health. There's a lot, that can be addressed to get girls to become healthy women.
That's wonderful. I think you're on to something huge. I'm excited. What's immediately next on the what's like 2021? We just started. So what do you have laid out as part of your big plans for this coming year?
We're trying to get new products in. We are finishing up our website. We would love to have our app developed and finished, and in the beta version of it. And we are trying to also partner, as Mariden said, with professionals to kind of give us some insight of other talking points that we're missing out, because as we know, the hormones are ranging. One day they hate us, one day they love us, one day they hate the world, one day they love the world. So it's kind of one of those things. And Mariden mentioned a big thing right now, healthy women. We know that our little girls are not going to stay little anymore, and that we want them to become healthy women. Well, how do we project that into the long term, right? How do we grow with them? And if you go on our website, is blossom. My florets means blossom. Like, how do we blossom with them? How do we make them into healthy women and not have so many health issues? I mean, longevity, that's the goal. But for right
Yeah.
now, we want to finish the website, want to finish the app, the puberty tracker app for preteen girls, and partner up with professionals, have a curriculum in place to kind of talk to your preteens, even for schools, parents, or any other nonprofit organizations that deal with girls. For instance,
Yeah.
Girl Scouts or Girls on the
Yeah.
Run.
That's
Yeah.
great. So it's like the subject. So you're becoming like the subject matter experts in the tween category. That's above and beyond. And so, what are the line extensions, Mariden, do you see in the near future? Because I know that you do like the intimate apparel, but any other, without giving too much away, because you know how it is. You gotta keep your cards close to your chest. But as someone that worked in media and marketing, and I'm sure that you have that hat on all the time. And so what do you foresee being like a next step in terms of actual product that you're looking to explore?
Yeah, so access is something that's super important to us, is being able to provide access to really great products, progressive products. We know, we've seen how the feminine hygiene market is being disrupted. We're getting healthier products that we actually know what the ingredients are, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
different options for menstrual care, and all of these things. So, really, to be at the forefront of being able to provide the access to these great products and to healthier products.
Yeah, I think that you know what you mentioned that, and that's critical because I know that when I was growing up, we used to go to the beach and like sunscreen wasn't like a thing, right? And so as time has progressed and people have more access to information, also they're becoming younger and more savvy in the way how they purchase, right? Different products that are organic, that are, free of chemicals, and also that are not cruel to animals. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited for you. And just a little hint, my daughter's like into like makeup and all of that. So, but it's like, oh my God, okay, I don't want her to, go all the way. But so then I think there's room there too for creating some kind of, offerings, right? That aren't so adult like, but aren't like lip gloss either, because she's like, ew, that's for babies, And so it's like that happy medium, right? That compromise. I'm excited for you guys. I really am. And I can't wait to see, how you blossom. Did I just say that? And as a business moving forward. And so any takeaways for people that are looking to start a business? Because I know that you had to hold on to, right, a job, and I know because I was there too, like you have to juggle two different responsibilities, to be able to make this dream come true. And so what are let's start with Mariden. What are some takeaways or some advice, that you would give to women that are looking to jump into the path of entrepreneurship?
I would definitely say one of the things that's helped us the most is really getting into a network of strong entrepreneurial women.
Mm.
Finding, like, as they say, finding your tribe, like finding people that you can have conversations with and learn from, and that have been there before you, so that you don't have to make some of the same mistakes on your own, and to avoid some of that, and to get like the best advice and the best support too, because it's not necessarily um it can be a little bit lonely, I guess, as an entrepreneur, because a lot of people sometimes don't understand what you're doing or the process. So it's great to have that support.
That's great. And what about you, Ketzi?
Have an amazing business partner.
Ah.
Have people that you can trust, rely on, that understand the problem. Even better if they obviously went through the problem. And Mariden said it, just finding that tribe, finding your niche. After that, I think, I mean, maybe other people would have different opinions, but as Mariden said, we were in a very fast-paced, hostile environment. So every time something got thrown, I was like, they said this was going to be hard. Like, did they not work over here? So we were kind of built for it, I guess. But I would
Yeah,
say the biggest takeaway is just having good people around you, whether it's
yeah.
good advisors, good mentors, good business partners. That makes a world of difference.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a critical point, right? Is finding people that look like you that have been through this process before. I know that we're kind of wrapping up, but I'm just curious because I've always heard, not found, I've always heard that when you're developing a product itself, the sourcing where to manufacture is always like a big obstacle or a big challenge, not obstacle, like a big challenge, and not easy to find, quality and reliability and and being able to do small numbers and all of that. How was that experience for you guys?
It was it was a learning experience.
How so?
It
How
was
so?
it was um so a lot of our manufacturers, one of our key things was making the price accessible to all
Mm,
demographics. That's one thing
right.
that we wanted to do since the very beginning. And in order to do that, we had to outsource outside of the US.
Mm,
Well, it, when it's daytime here, it's nighttime across the world. When it's
right.
night there, vice versa, right? And then getting the samples to just waiting for them and seeing, again, one of my biggest things for our products is I would not put something on our website that I would not have Valerie wear or use.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the texture, it was feeling it, it was going through one manufacturer and through another. That really pioneered us into finally finding one that worked, and that's kind of where we are. Did I miss anything, Money, then on that?
I think it took a lot of, I guess, trial and error.
Mm,
Um, Experimenting with different manufacturers and seeing how, what they could produce and how fast. Because sometimes,
yeah.
you have a need for a quicker turnaround and what that process is like. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a trial and error kind of process. And we're always looking for new manufacturers. We're definitely looking at some here in the southeast that we can partner with.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a process.
Yeah. And I saw that your subscription boxes, it was pretty cool that you have like a question there, saying that, about what's next, or what, but you're asking also your audience, let us know what you would like, right? And so
Right.
it's so funny that you're like, is it, panties, tampons, do you want a carry bag, do you want PMS relief, do you want treats? That was funny when I read it. I'm like, yes. Yes, like, just give me
All of
some
the
tampons,
above.
please, right? And so you're really looking to address, and then you ask open question, right? What else, are we missing anything? And so I think that's pretty cool. So you're really looking to understand deeply who your audience is and what their needs is, as fickle as some people might think, these needs are. But they're there, aren't they? Yeah. So I think that's a really, really cool. And I'm excited to see where this going. I'm gonna show my daughter Catalina the site, and have her
provide
pick a
us some
couple of
feedback.
things. Yeah, yeah, pick a couple of things, but also I'll provide you people. I'll call you. I'll email you.
Perfect.
Okay, to let you know how it goes. Okay, great. Well, let us know when's the new website. I know that you're working on it. When is your ETA with the new look and feel?
End of February.
So it's right around the corner.
Right.
That's excellent. Okay, great. So I'm excited about that. So we're gonna make sure that people are aware. And I have a lot of little girls that I'll be letting know that you guys are open for business. How's that? Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and I can't wait. I can't wait to circle back with you guys and find out, how you're taking over the tween category and making Amazon cringe. How's that?
Perfect.
That sounds good. Bye bye.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
This concludes this episode of I Have Something to Say. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. We're on Spotify and iTunes as well. There's more to come next week. And remember, if you have something to say, it's time to speak up.